Greetings and salutations, e-reader lovers. Welcome to another video review. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we have the Bookeen Cybook Muse with frontlight. Now it's important to note that there's two different variants of the Muse, one with frontlight and one without. The one without is fairly affordable.
Right.
I think it's around like 79 euros, and this is a little bit more expensive because it does have a frontlit technology. And basically what that means is that there's small LED lights at the bottom of the screen that splash light up rather than the smartphone, which has light emitting from behind the screen into your eyes. This is a 6-inch display, resolution 1024 by 758. It has a 1 gigahertz processor, 128 MB of RAM, and 4 gigs of internal memory. As you can see here, Peter, when we look at the front of the unit, it has manual page turn keys.
Yes.
And a home button.
It's very nicely designed. We have a flush screen and bezel, and these keys are outlined by more plastic. So, it's a lot of thought went into this to find a shell that they want to produce like this. Side is chiseled to give it a little bit of a distinct feel. All the sides and top are completely clean. Everything kind of happens on the bottom. Power button, micro SD card support, and micro USB port. And then you have the back. It's very thin plastic, and it's not the highest quality, so it does leave a lot of fingerprints and scratch marks even when you put it on a soft table. You have very nice design, though, with its kind of beveled edges.
It stands out in a crowd.
Absolutely.
This is the main home screen. As you can see, whenever you open a book and start progressing through it, this will dynamically change depending on the last book that you open. This will show you a small carousel of what's in your library. So it scrolls, although you can click see all to show you all the books in your library. It's pretty basic, doesn't show you like the book covers or anything like that unless you click on like a specific bookshelf, and then you do. And incidentally, there are some sort options.
Yay.
If you have like a ton of books here, maybe it's better to do this, but it also shows you how far you are progressively
I like the
reading.
information.
Yeah, I do too.
Horizontally.
I think I like that like a little bit better. Wherever you are, you can kind of hit the home key to get a soft UI. Yeah. But if you say in your library management setting and you click menu, you're not going to the main menu. You're going to like whatever menu
An extended menu.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see that there's just simply a search button.
We wish there was a home button, or this acted as just a home.
Yeah, it just brought you to this menu at all times. Bookeen does have a bookstore. You need to set up a Bookeen account, as well as you need to set up like an Adobe Digital Editions account. This is tedious. It takes a little bit of time.
The keyboard is a little bit unresponsive, and there's a massive delay, and there's a lot of letter skippage. So
and we'll show you what we mean like when we get to like looking at an ebook. But this is the store. Everything is in euros because Bookeen is based in Paris, France, and their primary market is Europe. So they 73 pages of books that you can download for free. This is what you can expect over sort of the store experience. This is an e-reader, Pete. Yep. It's meant to do primarily one thing: read books.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Looks really nice. Have great resolution. Nice contrast with the black on white.
Yeah.
Page turns are very fast. You get a quick refresh, and then you're back to the next page.
What about hitting with page turn keys? So it has a button press.
Very quick. When you do it by hand, you get a blackout every single page. If you do it by page turn, it actually avoids.
You don't. It's good. I mean, there's flashes every page you turn. It's not a deal breaker, but how is highlights and notations and things like that? How does that work?
Usually what we do is we do a long press, and then a bunch of options come up. On this device, when we do a long press, it takes you away from the book, and you say, oh wait, what happened? So then you got to think about what's going on. It says search in text, and now you are translating the word who, but none of these actually have anything to do with what you just did.
Whipcord,
Wharf, Wigsme. So it's a little bit unclear what happens, and then you say, oh, I'm back here, I want to make a highlight. So you try to tap, and then it takes you out of the book again. So now you're left with this list of stuff. And since we're focusing on highlights, I'll continue this first. You got to go annotations. You still have no real way to know what's going on. You got to click this little arrow. Then you can add a highlight.
So that's 4.
Right. Then you can do this. And then it saved your highlight. So
nice highlight.
4 or 5 steps to get there. We want to make a note now and explore the keyboard. So we'll tap the center, go to annotations, go to this little arrow, go down to add a note, click somewhere where we want to add the note, and start typing. So if I start typing, so it missed several letters. And I wasn't rushing, but
okay, well, you missed some letters. Let's try deleting.
Let's do some backspace. All right, I'm just going to hold the backspace key. It actually doesn't do anything. It does the one letter. So you actually can't hold it. You have to keep pressing it and pressing it.
Or I guess maybe you could hit this eraser button and just delete everything.
Right.
But if you want to delete, it's basically the delete button is per character.
It's either one or all.
Yeah.
You can't delete like a little bit. So if you do maybe a Gmail instead of Hotmail, you can't go back and change that. You have to just do everything again.
Yeah, the keyboard is likely the weakest part of
Right.
this e-reader so far.
So we're going to X out, and we'll do a couple more things before we move on to a PDF. We have go to, table of contents, search, layout, and text settings. This is very nice.
Yeah, this should be familiar with you for anyone who's had an e-reader before.
Right.
Kindle, a Nook, a Kobo. Pretty well, this the way that they present these options is pretty consistent
Yeah.
across all those devices.
Beautifully laid out. Everything's very clear as what it's going to do. All right.
Except when it has an error and it crashes.
Right. So go back to text settings. The glow light seemed to have turned on, even though I didn't.
Yeah, it just turned on randomly.
I didn't choose to turn it on. And now we're not. Okay, now we're getting some functionality back. I'll turn that back off and go back here, and we'll go to text settings. Now we're back here. I wanted to select a different
Publisher's default.
There we go. So we also have some advanced settings, which offers bold, different font families, and hyphenations. So augmenting the text is not too hard, but doing anything else is very difficult.
Yeah, totally. Alternatively, you can access those options by hitting the home button and going to menu. And then under layout, there's an option here for nighttime reading. So this is much akin to when you use a reading app, it'll turn the background black and the text white. How does this perform on an e-reader?
Anyone else want to come here and press the X button? Okay, there we go. We both tried. All right, so you get that flash every page turn. Unless you use the physical page turn buttons, it avoids that.
Which is, you know, if you're going to use nighttime reading, especially if you have the reading light on.
So we have the Dungeons and Dragons Monsters Manual here.
Which is, if you watched any of our other review videos,
Right.
This is the go-to PDF.
We use it every time. It has a good mix of text and pictures. So we're going to try some pinch and zooms. Now, you don't get a consistent pinch and zoom functionality. You just get levels. So with arrows, it tells you there's more up here and there's more over here. So you can tap to go over there or swipe to kind of move the page around chunk by chunk.
Well, how do you zoom in? If we want to zoom in on a specific body of text, what are our options?
So we're going to tap the center page. We're going to go zoom. We're going to choose our level. So maybe
I guess 150 is maxed.
40 we'll choose. So I have to press X to get out, and now we have our level of zoom. We still can't maneuver the page with any sort of, I think the Cybook Ocean offered a little mini map at the top.
Yeah.
Whereas the Muse...
Many other e-readers do that too, like
Yeah.
anything by Kindle and Kobo have been doing that for years now.
So now we're lost. We don't know where we are. We don't know what page we're on. Nothing reflows properly. So we're going to try to alter some stuff and reflow the text. So now we'll go back. Now everything looks more like an ebook. All the text is justified to the left. It's very nice.
We've stripped away pretty well all the superfluous images, the background colors, and we're just going to something that's like pure text.
Right, but see, once again, it's not organized. If I want to look at this guy's statistics, it starts listing them here, and then I got to go back, and then I got to go here, and here's the next dude. So I mean, it's not the best navigation with PDFs on this device. Once again, we have those levels of zoom, and you see I can't zoom out anymore, so I have to actually move the page down or wherever these arrows allow me to go. And the downside about this is that there is no text reflow because the images, the text is embedded in the images. Unlike a PDF can be differentiated, this is actually all one image. So even if I reflow the text, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, if anything, reflowing the text basically centered it.
Yeah, exactly. So then we can just turn pages. I mean, the quality is great. Don't get us wrong. The
resolution is solid.
Perfect.
It's pretty well 1024 by 758 is pretty well the industry standard.
It's just the functionality and the steps needed to do anything else are tedious.
This e-reader, I don't know if I would recommend it. It's the front light is actually solid. If you're buying this just to read ebooks, whether you buy them from Bookeen or you sideload them, it's not that bad, but you have to pretty well rely on the page turn keys to avoid ghosting and to avoid refreshing every page or every 5 pages, depending on how you customize it in the menu. There's no web browser in here, so you can't access the web at all. And web browsers are pretty well standard in almost every e-reader that we've reviewed this year. I find that the keyboard is a little bit woeful, being able to delete or make mistakes like in your Wi-Fi password or your Adobe Digital Editions account. It's a little bit woeful. So it has too many things going against it for me to really recommend this to anybody. I feel that the hardware's solid. I think Bookeen could probably solve a lot of these issues. I mean, it's December 1st, 2014, so this is the first week of release. Hopefully they could solve some of our issues that we've had through this with firmware updates, and if they do, we'll film a follow-up video showing you that if there's any performance enhancements, what they are, and if we could recommend this in the future. Peter, you heard all my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I agree with your entire list there, and I'm not going to rehash them. I'll just say that the hardware, I like the hardware a lot. It's a very nice design, very high quality parts, flush screen and bezel. You don't see this very often. Only 2 other e-readers do the flush screen and bezel thing. It can be a contender. It definitely can if the software is improved upon. Yeah. As it stands, I mean, I can't even make a highlight. I didn't even know how to make that. I had to learn it off camera how to make a highlight. Yeah, and it should be so much more intuitive than it actually is. Absolutely. I mean, I agree. Hardware has a lot of things going for it. I mean, the manual page turn keys, the touch screen is solid. The touch screen itself is not too bad. The front light is actually pretty good. Right. And you're not paying, 200 euros, 300 euros for this. It's pretty well just over 100. So you're not breaking the bank getting this, but yeah, it needs some work. Let's hear your thoughts. You've heard ours. Drop a comment below if you have any ideas for future videos involving the Cybook Muse with Frontlight. Drop us a line for goodyreader.com. My name is Michael. This is Peter.
Everybody take care.